opening ceremony of Professor Chimalum Nwankwo's Obi, the sacred portion of the Lodge of the Spirits in collaboration with the Awka Literary Society, was a literary fiesta that brought together writers, scholars, and lovers of literature. Located in his country home, Ndike, Anambra State, Nigeria, the Obi was commissioned for use in the traditional rites of Igbo society to appease the gods through libation and prayers. This exalted role was performed by the chief priest of Ndike, Ezedibo Ikejiofo Ndike, and Obinyerugo Okorie Ijoma.
Ono na azunu ya no n'ihu Chukwu ngo eji akọ ya agbaji na ya onye fu ncheta ya mere nwa ya mekwo na ụtụtụ ya dị unu niile mma ihe na-agụ n'isi unu ka na-agụ n'isi ụtụtụ ya dịrị unu mma ehihie ya dịrị unu mma abalị ya dịrị unu mma okwu ọma na ụzọ ọma osi ufuru na atụ mkpe ebugo ma face
ihe niile eze n'Igbo gọrọ aka tata onye ji ofu ike dị ọnụ ana m asị na ọ ka dịrị onye ọbụla aha Kraịst bụ onye ọma
ekwenye unu na-eke unu n'oye unu n'afọ unu na nkwọ ihe anyị na-eme taa udo ọṅụ ngazi ọgaranya development.
Members of the Awka Literary Society expressed their pride in the giant strides of Professor Nwankwo, who has distinguished himself as an internationally acclaimed award-winning poet, scholar, and literary critic. They described the occasion as unique and a privilege for the guests. Professor Nwankwo was therefore invited to feed the audience eager to learn from his intellectual and philosophical ideas. These are his musings on the concept of multiverse, which has been explored in various works of literature and holds a significant place in the realm of philosophical thought. Through exploring the idea of multiple universes, Professor Nwankwo delved into the possibilities of alternate versions of ourselves and the impact of choice on our lives. He thus took his audience through differences of the ancient world and how all faiths are masking in the contemporary world by mimicking the West.
My concept, my understanding of the world is based on even modern science. And the present assumption by scientists that we have a multi-universe. Not a universe. Multiverse. A multiverse. Yeah. Not a universe. Yeah. Multiverse. And the implication is that there are many universes intersecting, like the Olympic symbol. Alright? Yeah. What you call them more aliens live on another plane altogether. There's a lot of argument going on at NASA in the US whether to debunk or to validate that these aliens actually exist. Because people have been given reports and insisting that the government is hiding something from the people. But if they are beings or whatever they are, the whole thing is that our plane of reality is different from their plane of reality. And that is why they are able to do what they are doing. Fortify the point about differences with the Western world. And those differences are validated by their own ancient Roman variant. Works properly, works day. The voice of the people, the voice of God. If the voice of the people is the voice of God, then we have multiple deities on the planet. You don't accept it, you are your own. In terms of reading the world, we have multiple deities. It's only the Indian pantheon and in Nigeria, the Yoruba pantheon, which recognize things like that. The deities are multiple, and they have their own different duties and responsibilities. But some of us, I don't know what to say, where we are battling with what I call my writing, the agon. The agon. The agon is a battle with the West as a result of what the West has done towards our consciousness and the minds of our people. You know? So we think that reality should be the source of our validation of our own reality. This is really idiotic and ignorant understanding of the world. I had an important condition with Mosaina at Prof. University. And I tried to explain to him, my dear friend, we're all speculating about the world we live in. You, me, the Pope. Nobody knows what happens when we stop breathing. Nobody knows. When we stop breathing, you can only guess what happens, no matter who or what you think you are. Nobody has been there and come back, so don't pretend. We had an argument about the way the man presented himself to the audience. Right? As the man who follows the white way. The white way is good, and the black way is evil. That's his contention. So I said, my friend, we don't insult your people. You insult us. Look at what you're saying. Suppose I saw you, Mosaina, and told you that the wine you use for your communion is fake. You're deceiving people. It's not the blood of Christ. You won't like it. The thing you serve as the body of Christ is biscuit. It's not the body of Christ. Okay? I said, what we are all doing is ritual masking. Ritual masking. What is inside the masquerade? Spirit, not human being. Inside the masquerade is spirit. It's ritual masking. That's my explanation. Another time we have to read our words very carefully. They live in a different universe mentally in terms of being from us. And if you don't recognize that difference, I'm sorry for you. Because that is the source of all the deception, all the deceit, all the skullduggery in politics and everywhere, which enables them to deceive us. Those of you who know, about 80% of churches are coming down in Europe. 80% or more. Nobody's interested. They don't believe in the old things, with the Bible and tradition all around the world. Right? And here we are. The world apart from them, and we are still following the tradition. Last time I spoke to Unizik, I told them, but the money is spent on that chapel there and build a cancer center. But you just build a church. And you are so religious, but you haven't explained to me, nobody has explained to me why India had a problem with the government and they took it to Okija to stand naked and take and go before the shrine. Instead of going to a bishop or archbishop all over Nwankwo, they went to Okija. Which means you are duplicitous. You are game about belief and ancestors. If you believe in what you are doing every Sunday and all these chapels, you would have taken him to the archbishop. You didn't do that. You took him to Okija. Which means you are afraid of Okija more than you fear what you call your God. The implication is not deniable. And nobody spoke. Nobody raised a finger to challenge me. Everybody felt guilty. Because it's truth. You don't believe in these things, you go to church socially, not because you believe what is happening in church. So that's the problem. I call it the agon, I said. The struggle between our contact with the West and our life as Africans.
The clash between the West and Africa has resulted in a complex situation that has threatened traditional African customs, beliefs, and ways of life. Professor Nwankwo claims they are consistently shaping modern and its relationship with the West. He stressed that the result is this struggle to please the white man's way of life. He considers it important for African writers to recognize and understand the complexities of this struggle and work towards finding a balance that respects and preserves African culture. Consequently, he advocates ontological engagement of the West by African writers.
We believe in our things secretly, in line with what Toni Morrison said. The black man is looking for somebody to tell him and people what you're doing is good. somebody must tell you what you're doing as black people is good. Before you accept that it's good. This is just is in philosophy granting the power of definition to another person. If you grant the power of definition to somebody else, you are finished. Okay? You are not yourself. You are yourself according to what has been presented by others. So I frame my world like that. The ego is too strong. We're pulled by the West and pulled by African values. Where to stand, we do not know. You know, things are collapsing all around us that are Western, and we're trying to prop them up. And I'm saying that we are in a struggle in which our values are relegated to the background of our lives and activities. We have dropping the white man values in front of us, and it's not serving us. And they're using that inferiority complex to wreck our lives, politically, economically, and always possible. So there are many things which interest me. I tell my fellow writers in Africa, if you're afraid of these things, I don't know what to call you as a writer. If you're afraid of telling this kind of truth. And by the way, let me be anecdotal again, you know what I'm saying. We were at Harvard University, and Prof, my teacher, was reminiscing about Oshun. And I said to him, Prof, I like whatever you said, and what you guys are doing with Gerald Moore just told us that he went to Doto with Chris and when they arrived at Doto, hey, the shrine is gone because I converted to Catholicism. The shrine is gone. So I said, Prof, if you were in the position of priest of Kibu, would you have elected to be the priest of Idoto? He said, Chimalum, I read your apology, but you don't read mine. I didn't want to tell him because you're
I understand.
you read my apology, but I don't read yours. Okay, thank you, Prof. But that is my contention. And I'll cap it by telling you that you pioneers refuse to engage the white man ontologically. You didn't engage the white man. You know what I mean? Ontologically. You didn't engage the white man. Like I just did fake sure about asking about Nwankwo. I don't know. You remember the passage? You know, so Achebe played with them. So I suggest, as you see, the people are familiar with my shadows and pieces of fire. I said that what you need is an ontological ecumenism. You need an ecumenism where all beings are equal. If all beings are equal, then what we'll call God will be equal in our consciousness. But as it is now, the gods are not equal. Your God is not a revealed God. The Christian God is a revealed God. Okay? The major deities are revealed. Yours is not revealed. If it's not revealed, it's an inferior deity. And you know it's not true. I will call my brothers anymore to give the prayer here before we open. Okay? I insist on the validity and truthfulness of what you did according to the ways of our people. That's why I called him. And I don't want to waste too much time talking about this. But I'm saying that writers should be able to also, in a way, engage the West ontologically.
At the end of his discourse, members of Oka Literary Society and others engaged Professor Nwankwo on some salient points of his presentation.
I want to know exactly why you chose to be expository, just expository of how we understand the nature of our deities or the nature of our faith, F-A-I-T-H. Christianity did not come to us as a mistake.
Christianity came to us as a revelation of a cosmological perspective, viewpoint. It is a universe. I believe in Christ unconditionally to the extent that my practice of Christianity has given me direct testimonies and even testament of how valid it is as a worldview and as a value system. So my idea is something that I investigated, interrogated. Even as a child, I wrote a poem to the gods, a query. I wrote it as a poem. But today, I'm a Christian, and I'm an apologist of Christianity, and I believe in it, and I know where I'm going. If we were so sound in that sense, this Jesus Christ would not have had the kind of overwhelming, crushing effect that it has had on the whole universe, on the whole of culture. I'm not trying to say there is no Hindu, there is no Buddha, that there is no Islam, but some of these things are going to get their own portion when the time comes.
So the day this thing we are talking today with your intervention from Chimalum, you have given us the argument that look, some of these are our biblical facts and all these other things about beliefs and all that. It's neither here nor there. But my point essentially is that the world is about interrogation. There is no finality. Somebody told me the other day, in fact it was a book the person gave me and I was able to read it and all that. The guy wasn't actually particularly all these our types of, but he said look, that in the Bible, like in the Muslim religion, what you have is reincarnation. That somebody like John the Baptist reincarnated as like Elijah. That's why. So when you see people having such things, such ideas, that like in the Igbo land, we have this called reincarnation. They say they want to find somebody, onye loro mmadụ in our in our culture. From ancient Jewish philosophy and all that, you find even some kind of comparisons with the Igbo and some of the other African belief systems. But it's not an end in itself. It calls for more inquiries.
To me, it is not negative, but an inquiry-based mind, that wants to continue to push back the horizon of knowledge in the world in a dialectical manner. And without this kind of great mind, the world will be static. He has not said that God does not exist. Neither has he said that religious belief is empty. What he's trying to say is that the world is an egalitarian world ontologically, whereby, for instance, the sense and the yes. So the world is egalitarian. So also the ontology, from cosmology to ontology. The beings of the West exist pari passu with the beings of the South. And by South I mean Africa. Yes. So when you look at the world from egalitarian ontology, I'm trying to surmise Chimalum, you have no choice but to appreciate our own deities as servants of the Almighty God.
We should, as scholars, try to go back to our roots. The white people have brought out their own. We should also bring out our own. Nobody is saying this one is better or the other one is inferior. But let us bring out our own so that the positive things in our own will also be appreciated. And a lot of people will also gain from those positive things. But if we keep hiding behind maybe Christianity, because I know that is part of the major challenge to this kind of inquiry. So we as African scholars, we should go into that, make inquiries before the people that know about this thing, before they all go. We must document things, we should find out about ourselves and then try to put those things also on the same par with what the Western world has given to us.
You've all said the same thing, but I want to ask our creative writers to balance the truth. We know our belief system is there with us. This is our kola nut. We know the significance. Why do we pretend as if our culture does not exist? Why do we believe that what we are taught in the church? I am a Christian. Still, we still have our traditional belief system tugging at our hearts. We cannot shy away from it. It's left for us as creative writers to balance it.
A proper Obi has in Irundi chain. It has a triangle. One is going up, one is coming down, and another one is going up. These three triangles are multiverse. One is the triangle of those that are about to reincarnate. The other triangle that is up there, those that are dead and are going. And the one facing down is the universe of those of us that are living. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So it is in that very ontology. If you understand it, it's easier for you to create a story out of that very design that our people even put in visual expression in our Irundichi, you know. And what they use in putting pata ife de debe offer. If you pick it and count it, you find 28 lines on the left side, 28 lines on this side, 7 on this line, 7 on this side, and the same 3 triangles, you know, all there. And by the time you study it and you know what is called Kabbalah, you know the universality of what our own people, what they have done, what they are doing, and what they have done. So it's what Prof is telling us is how do we take this conversation from staying in an inferior position to being at par with the rest of the conversations that are going on.
I'm the black spirit. You wanted an answer. Yeah. I'm the black spirit. Yeah. I've fought all kinds of battles to be what I am. It's not easy. I was at the Federal School of Forestry in Badon in 1970. Professor J.T. Lambo came to speak to us, the Vice President of the World Health Organization at that point, the best psychiatrist in Africa, and he explained to us what was the secret of his success. The occupation therapy practice at Aro mental home.
Yes, of course.
He said he was healing mad people, and each time he discharged a patient, as a reward. He had like 80% success or lower. Each time he discharged a patient, a reward.
Clinical.
So what did he do? He said, he found out the problem in a very shocking and surprising way. He discovered that most of the patients who had these relapses believed in the deities in their villages. So after curing you, it takes you 3 visits to your village. It takes the patient to your village and propitiated the deities. I'm not choosing, no longer choosing you. You are free. I have pacified the angry spirit who is making you angry. After that, the person became normal and he started scoring 99 to 100% in his healing practice. You're asking me how I came to where I am today. I'm 1970, but when I was in 1970. So I looked at this and I said to myself, I want something here. This guy was in sync with the roots of his people, and they understood Why are people we are the only people on the planet. I've said this several times before. Black people are the only people on the planet worshiping other people's deities. When I talk about ontological ecumenism, bear that in mind. We are the only race worshiping the deities of other people. I have nothing against Jesus. Jesus is a way. Christians say it's the way, it's not the only way. There are other ways. Is what I'm emphasizing.
God is too big.
We are what we are because of our contact with the colonial powers. If they didn't come to colonize us, we will be doing what we are doing. But they came in and took us under their umbrella. So we started singing the Christian song. That is what it is, whether you like it or not. If China had colonized us, we'll be singing about Buddha. If India had colonized us, we'll be singing about Hindu. Don't you see, it's very clear? We are the only race, check it out, worshiping the deities of other people. So when I'm speaking, please, I have a little experience behind what I'm saying. Watching people around the world. I went even as far as studying Darwin. I discovered in my travels, if you see somebody from Somalia, you will know. If you have traveled. If you see someone from Ethiopia, you will know. If you see somebody from Ghana, you will know. If you see somebody from Kenya, the forehead and the eyes or something will tell you. That is Darwin's spontaneous creation.
My own take on it is that we all believe in a spirit being. The route to that is what it has. Maybe we need to garnish our own religion. Such a man that will become attractive.
The event climaxed with a performance that involved the host and his audience, as literature cannot be understood without its audience and social context.
Read the poems that I intend to read from The Womb in Your Heart. The 2002 Anna Capri Prize winner. The first Anna Capri Prize winner. 2002. The Womb in Your Heart. The poem takes its title from the book The Goddess. The Womb in Your Heart. My mother told me that as teenagers, periodically, they gathered naked in moonlight and sang and danced for many nights under the sacred Udala tree. It was for the spirit children to see their beauty clearly and choose who would be their mothers in the world. Husbands came soon after to pick them as brides. The nudeness was shown for humans and spirits. Of all beginnings, the womb is the head. The queen's beauty glows first from the diadem. The face may not know of the rivers in front. The womb is the head, the chair of kings, the throne of queens, the seed of the heart. And the womb of the heart indicates your memory. The womb is the tomb for all beginnings.
Well, in writing this poetry, I want to rival with the Heaven Gate of
Christopher Kibo. Aha. And I start. It was done. Asleep, I went. The vision lifted. A different night's sleep. And enchanted flight. Are not yet encountered, not yet imagined. The window of eternity opened. Gray zero heads brushing the early sky. Joy consumed and sorrow lived to its limit.
I think one's heart goes as far and as deep as one's love goes. This is the intro to this work by Andrew White. I read this poem, I beg God, let me be able to make it. It's not easy. Before the Byzantine beauty of butterflies, I quake. Before the fragrant phosphorescence of blue days, and a rainbow of singing feathers, I faint. More than the guys dancers, these mademoiselles of the night, mosquitoes bewitch me with their stupefying daintiness in flight. And birds. Abrahams of aeroplanes, the hawk satellite eyes, skywise meditate on mice. Before AWACS theater defense aircraft lent to smuggle car plate numbers on Moscow streets, or our vivacious cousins, the electric leopards, cosmic whales, symphonic sharks, rhomboid rhinoceros, fragile macaws, with the eloquence of foliage and vivid vernacular of flowers, all in delicious harmony with our female earth and the sun and rain, our faithful lovers. Udala, Udala, my love, tangerine, tambourine and dance, my life is an earthquake of praise. Before the rainbow, sunrise and night, or the solemn anthems of winds, quaint masquerades of delight. Before the marvelous omnipotence of space, and her offspring, sun, moon, stars, meteors, and their sister oceans, rivers and snow.
The title of my poem is A Room of My Own. In a room of my own, I find my retreat, where thoughts can wander and dreams can meet, a heaven of calm, a sanctuary to be, where the world outside cannot intrude on me. The walls hold secrets, the shelves tell tales of adventures afar and whispered details. In this quiet space, my mind takes flight, exploring new realms in the soft evening light. The desk is my harbor, the chair my throne, where ideas unfold and creativity is sown. In this room of my own, I am truly free to write my story, to be just me. So in this special place, in this sacred place, I will always roam. For in this room of my own, I've found my home.
Beludike Obueziakwa Anima Ogagi Amu Chinua Mwachebe. So if I say Chinua, and I say Mwachebe. Beludike Obueziakwa Anima Ogagi Amu Chinua Mwachebe. Onwa netile ora. Okpaka gbagbulenyi. Onye gbaghere ụzọ. Ọga ndị ọcha. Chinua Nwachebe. Onye a na-etili mkpu n'ụwa niile. Odelu ụwa. Odezulu Igbo. Odezulu ụwa niile. Chinua Nwachebe. Ụkpaka gbagburu enyi, onye na-agbapụta uwe kwụrụ ọtọ, ebe ọbụla ọ batara ụzọ eghelu. Chinua Nwachebe. A na-ebelu dịka ọ bụ ezi akwa, anyị ma na oge agha anwụ. Chinua Nwachebe.
Kpamkpana bụ Jukwude n'ụba nwata onye mere ya, ihe mere n'isi kwere nkwere, ihe mere n'ọdụ kwere nkwere, kwere nkwere na nga eji eme, kwere kwere na ọkụkọ ọcha na-aga n'iro na okweghị ngwere agafere akanwụ ọtaba ebenebe tara akwụ ebenebe tara akwụ si nje tụta atụta m ohu na ise ma dafusie dawai na ogbugbu eke dawai na ogbugbu orie mụ na nne m etie ahụ adị mma mụ na nna m etie ahụ na-agbakasị m egbuoro m ehi na mmata amanye aka na ite egbelu afọ ya mgbịrịgba ịmana nsị dị akpụ na-agba afọ ọnụ dede
containing the phlegm. Tell them in Ababa, shout it in Afibo. Even in Abakaliki, the naira is falling. Even the dollar fast chases it down. In open market, the slump in bundles, like sacks of once used full contents, slinging from two sides of the kaya man's shoulder, dangling, dancing, struggling to dance, to the reading of body check. Should they drop like they threatened all time? They remind of quarter liquid fears, of bags struggling to contain what a job. Tell them in Ababa, shout it in Afibo, even in Abakaliki. Tell them of the fall that we are striving and jobbing to contain, those sagging in our Moebic condominium bags. Thank you.
Thank you. And the motivation is about the roots of our people, not just Dikelion, but the way the heritage touches on other heritages in the African world. What are we and how do we assert what we are? That's what I'm trying to do here. I'll try to do here. This is a memorial for my mother. It's a memorial for the founder of this town, who was my mother's father. So that is why I'm passionate about what happened today. Naikelion, the founder of the town, had 7 sons. And those 7 sons he'd like to associate with his titular name, Onwebenasa, 7 guns. So I named this bush bar after him, 7 guns bush bar. And Obiti is our own word for Obi. The responsibility of writers is the kind of thing which I associate with writers like Shoinka, excellent definer of the Yoruba world. Ogunism. If you don't know Ogun, don't discuss Shoinka. We need Igbo writers to be that rooted. So when you're talking about the Igbo people, we know where you're coming from. All right? It's so that's what I mean by ontological, affirming yourself ontologically, which I said are pioneers, except again people like Shoinka was able to assert, and is still asserting in all his writings. The Ogun world is a match for the world of white people. He has no apologies. Ogun and Jehovah on equal footing. Okay, when you talk about deities, he's not interested. Okay, you may talk to him about spirits. I told him one time, Professor Shoinka, you're a worshipper of Ogun. I said, no. I said, okay, Ogun is your tutelary deity. And he said, that's better. Yes.
Your last word to we don't have it.
Stop being apologetic about your culture. Stop being apologetic. The way of our people is as valid as every other way on this planet. And I repeat, black people, not just Igbo people, are the only people that don't worship or respect their own deities. Only Africa. Every culture on the planet, in every culture on the planet, people worship their deities. It's only in Africa that Africa worships other deities. Look at it. It doesn't matter whether it's Islam or Christianity, they are deities of other people. But you look at Japan, you look at China, you look at India, you look at all these people, they have their own deities. Why don't you have a deity? And the old joke about Nigeria, Ilochol na USC, you just in the local. That's what it's all about. Okay? You can't be worshiping this deity, another man's deity, and expect that deity to save your people. That is why we're unable to save ourselves. You abandon your gods abandon you. That's an echo of what Christopher Okibo himself said. You abandon your gods abandon you.
Indeed, an open literary time with Professor Chimalum Nwankwo fulfilled the expectations of his guests, who were thrilled by his exposition, book display, and rich entertainment.